and pick up the Zilean for themselves. And this is definitely a much more even draft, I think, out of both of these parties here. So obviously early and mid game going to be much more important than it was in game number 1, and really setting the tone for what can happen in the remainder.
Yeah, can't necessarily just sit back this time as T1, you know, get a lead and be, as game number 2 is going to be put on right now, as we're going to be starting onto the map here. Level 1, pretty strong for T1. They're going to push that advantage. The Olaf, obviously, quite good at it, as well as Sylas and Karma.
And they're just looking for any of the Gen.G members. They're looking for some action. As you can see, a ward also placed at the top, and okay.
They might want to. I feel like T1 know this. No, they're just going right back in. Okay. So Faker's going to be scouting, going back into the jungle. What a wonky start to game number 2.
Yeah, and they're not going to have Canna for this one. Oh no, the game might just end. The game might.
They're not going to go. They don't want to go. They're taking some advice from some of the other teams, and now they see it, and now they're on.
Skill Valkyrie. He's going to skill Valkyrie and go over.
Yep. There it is. And it ends up being much ado about nothing, actually, although the Valkyrie, of course, is going to have an effect on the mid lane.
The thing here, though, is Rascal falls really far behind, as I believe he will miss 3 of the minions in top. So that is really problematic. You can see Rascal is trying to run up there, as Clid is on his patented J4, 27 in 5. 84.4% win rate. It's pretty good.
It's all right.
It's all right, yeah.
It's okay. It's nice. Kind of missing a little trade there. And, I mean, we've seen this before in the bottom side. Double Arcane Comet with a Varus that takes it as well. And you just forever zone the enemy comp.
And the interesting thing here is that Karma actually went for Gathering Storm, whereas Varus does have the Scorch. Generally, when we've seen this combo, you see both parties just take the Scorch.
Or the opposite, maybe.
Yeah, or just both take Gathering Storm.
Yeah, let the AD scale a bit more.
But right now, just focus on the bot lane, see how well Teddy can actually do here against this Ezreal and Galio. And things can definitely get scary. Now, Clid, due to the scaling of the Zilean, the Ezreal, and the Ornn, has the option to play low economy, whereas T1, Cuzz, he's not going to be as fortunate. He needs to be power farming. He needs to be making sure that his laners are in good positions to get the dragons and try to capture them, because T1 wants a soul to win this game. Now, bot wave's coming back into T1, so Teddy and Effort can back up. This gank should never work in a million years.
Nope, it's called out and played very safely here from T1. They're just going to back away. Clid not even going to interrupt a back. Cuzz going to take that time to continue power farming. Even going into Clid's jungle. Not going to find anything on that note. It's actually a first pick for life in the bottom side. Every other champion very practiced from the side of Gen.G.
And Olaf just getting intel, finding out when the Raptors are going to end up respawning for his team. And you look over at Faker, he already has his cull stacks getting farmed up, fleet footwork on the Corki. So we're going to have a bit of a lull state in the early game here.
Nice.
And that's not the end of the world.
No, it's just fine. Sit back, relax. You can see the wave pushing into T1. So they're just going to chill out, as the lane was in an awkward spot when the rotation was coming out of Gen.G. That's part of the reason why they did want to back away from any kind of gank. Kind of missing a bunch of CS here, actually, in the top side.
He's missed so much. That's why the CS score is so close. despite that giant minion wave. And remember the fact that Rascal missed some of the ones at the very beginning. So Rascal yet again getting the leg up in this matchup. And when we look at the minimap, the Jarvan, he is behind the Olaf, who's just getting the power farm because all of the lanes are self-sufficient. They don't really need any aid in order to do anything, and this is why it's a little bit surprising that Clid isn't opting into a low econ style. As Teddy and Effort just continuing to hard shove, still have the teleport available. Ezreal has already picked up his tier. And what we're looking to see unfold is if both parties are on even footing in an early mid-game transitional fight, Gen.G would be favored. In mid-game, Gen.G should also be favored. So the later stages also, there's not a lot of hope for T1, and that's why we mentioned, okay, hold on.
Oh boy. Well, that wasn't the cleanest engage, but they will at least trade a flash to Effort, who doesn't have to heal or anything like that. Life actually looks like he accidentally autoed before he did go for a taunt of sorts, so it looked a little bit awkward on that engage.
Well, a little bit of poke there. So the super late stages of the game, even though there's not a lot of hope, there still is some edges that T1 has with the Corki and the Varus, as that'll be the point that Jarvan and Galio are going to start tapering off. But this game is really going to be about Zilean versus Corki.
Knock-up coming in here from Canna just to try to get him out of this one, but can he try to trade this one back? Will he have the Kingslayer on time is the question. He gets the knock-up and he has to flash away.
Oh!
Dodging that one, but it is not going to matter. Rascal picks up another solo kill here up on the top side, and we were just talking about how Canna wasn't looking super comfortable up in the top lane and didn't necessarily look great in game one. And that is just going to add on to our beliefs here, LS.
Yeah, I mean, Canna looking very shaky here after a phenomenal performance against Dragon X, where he was a pretty core piece to their victory along with Effort in that series. As Cuzz now level 6, he's coming in here looking to actually ruin the blue, and can he get it?
He's just going for Clid right now. Double bomb comes in, but it's not going to actually get the stun, as blue will go the way of the Olaf, and now Gen.G's bottom lane will come in, but it's kind of just cleaning up a very big mess that's on the ground right now, because ultimate had to be used by VDD. He uses a bunch of mana. He doesn't get blue for the mid lane. Also, the dragon should go the way of T1 here.
Yep. Dragon will go. Okay, Dragon goes the way of T1.
Cuzz flashes, but he's actually going back in. They're calling to go back in. There's no Zilean ultimate. And why are Gen.G trying to force it? Is probably the better question. As now Teddy, he wishes he was level 6. Oh, man. He can get an easy flash here. He's still going to get it anyway. As things go from bad to worse for Gen.G, and T1 will easily pick up what they are dropping.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a pretty nice early dragon for T1. They get about half a longsword on all of their carry champions. So some nice gold value there. And now Cuzz just going back to power farming. Let's take a look at this trade one more time. So Canna misses out on that. Rascal casts the ultimate, gets the bellow breath and the brittle procs, but you can just see that Canna mismeasured the damage that he would have available. And even though Rascal misses the pillar, doesn't end up mattering. Rascal also in that clip had a biscuit available that he could have consumed. And Clid, we've seen him do this in actually many games. Sometimes he just Leroy Jenkins right into the opponents.
And it was Light first. Light Leroyed, and then Clid followed up with a loud Jenkins right behind him. And it didn't look good for either of them. It was just really desperate at the end of a situation where I think you just have to give it away at that point. You lost the fight. Say, okay, that's it. Not much we can do.
And now Teddy and Effort have a advantage down there in bottom, and T1 are accelerating. This is really integral. So in the early stage and the mid stage, on even footing Gen.G would be ahead. But obviously if T1 is ahead, they're going to have an edge. Now, typically, that's not always the case. Sometimes having an advantage actually only makes it even for some of the mid-game team fights. But in this instance, an advantage for Varus and Corki is meaningful enough against some of the magic tricks that Gen.G has available inside of team fights.
Yeah.
And obviously, Dragons going T1's way, that's their end game. That's their goal that we mentioned very early on in T1. They're rolling good Dragons. Second's Cloud Drake. Here we go.
Okay, so no flash available for Effort, but Teddy does have it 4-on-2. They're going to be targeting down Effort. Chains of Corruption going to go down onto Ruler, but you can see this is just domination under the turret as a proactive play does come in from Gen.G. They're going to lose some turret plates in mid and top, but still, they pick off 2 kills and some pressure on the bottom side.
Yeah, they relieve a lot of pressure down in bottom. They almost remove the CS deficit that was present between the AD carries. Now, they do lose plates and a lot of minions. That is maybe actually 2 kills worth of gold that Rascal misses out on just in terms of minions. So, you're really going to add it up to see who ends up coming out ahead. While it was important that Gen.G do that to stabilize the bot lane, it's not like it just comes over for free. As Rift Herald will give the gold over. Yep. And Zilean having his turret hurt that badly this early on is not something that he likely would have been anticipating. And right there, Clid stealing that away is very big because he's down 2 levels right now in the jungle.
Yeah, catch-up XP ain't the same nowadays. As times have changed, we're going to take another look here. TP onto the flag.
Yep. TP onto the flag. They come in with the Ornn ultimate. And Teddy surprisingly flashes here, but there's never a universe where he's getting a kill. So, should have just embraced death.
Yeah. If Ruler had turret aggro, maybe. But the second he sees that Ruler doesn't, you just got to let that one go as well. It's hard to make those decisions in a split second under this much pressure, so we'll hand it to him. As now Gen.G, they've identified the importance on the Dragons, and they say, well, let's prepare for this 45 seconds ahead. Clid hiding now in the pit.
And this is a scary team fight. Rascal isn't going to be here. Zilean doesn't have his flash, neither does Ruler. We'll see how both of these parties end up posturing for it. You can see Baker just really in the driver's seat here in mid lane. Already completed his call, almost has the Trinity Force even, most likely. Perhaps just like 3 minutes or so away, 4 minutes maybe from completing that, given that he has so many turret plates inside of him, a kill and an assist.
Chains of Corruption went down onto Ruler. He doesn't have his flash, and it doesn't look like he's got Arcane Shift either. He's just going to go down. As you would have to imagine that was Teddy baiting him into a fight. And I don't know how that's even possible. Teddy's at full health, full mana, basically.
Yep.
Say 80% each as the dominoes fall one by one. As Gen.G are going to lose another kill, another objective. And T1 are just scooping it up, saying thank you very much.
Nope, Mountain. So Mountain Dragon is going to be the dragon that's coming up. Now, it's not the best one. So if you're a Gen.G fan, that is, okay, well, hold on.
Well, he's desperately trying to clear the wave, but it's not going to happen.
Whoop.
As he is not going to survive, just barely. Gets away that last auto from Ruler. As nice little rotation, the teleport comes in from Ruler. He's going to get a bunch of gold from this, gets the kill, and some turret plates. But yes, very much mixing things up here on the map from behind.
Well, Ruler is trying to get any gold that he possibly can right now. Ionian Boots and Monomune on the Ezreal. Looks like he's going to be going for the Iceborne Gauntlet this game to have added resistance against the Varus' poke, as well as even the Olaf. Going to be very effective there. Now, interestingly, Cuzz is going for the Cinder Hulk on the Olaf. Not going to be going for the Warrior Enchant. And you can just see Chains of Corruption lands.
And he Arcane Shifts at the same time.
And Cuzz just senses blood in the water, goes in, ends up bringing him down. And the teleport comes in here. Canna tried his best to defend against it, but it just wasn't quite enough. in the end.
Yeah, he's clearing the wave, but maybe if he had used the True Shot Barrage onto Ezreal and just tried to, you know, focus all of his attention onto that squishy AD carry that's only level 8, that may have worked out better for him. But hindsight is 20/20. Under that pressure, he decided he would just go for the wave. Didn't exactly work out. True Shot Barrage, again, ain't what it used to be in terms of clearing the minion waves. That's for sure.
And right now, in this game, it's almost a 3,000 gold lead here for T1, 3 minutes until the mountain. Now, again, the unfortunate good thing for, or not unfortunate, I'm not really quite sure what you would feel if you're Gen.G, is that at least it's not an ocean. It doesn't feel good that it could be a Mountain Soul, but T1's champions utilize Mountain Soul much less effectively than an Ocean Soul. None of them really stack any sort of resistances except for that Olaf, and so it's not like they're getting a lot of ramp from the 12% if they make it the distance. However, it can be problematic to the Wombo combo engage, but Zilean and Ezreal can actually fight against it.
VDD here, he's going to have to call in his brother Galio to help against that dive. As Shirley spawning here, 15:58 was the timer. As T1 really making a case to put on as much pressure up on the top side as possible. We see Karma coming in here as well. Ruler and Clid to try to fight against it with 4, actually, from Gen.G. Now, I'm not sure if they should even fight over this, surely, because we've talked about this before. Turret plates are gone. Even the mid turret is gone. Surely, the second Rift Herald is not going to get that much value.
No, and the thing about this is Rift Herald, when there's no turret plates, it's not worth losing your life over. And so we'll see how hard both of these teams actually commit to this. But all too often, we've seen team comps that have scaling in their kits all too eager to take a team fight even when they're down on gold or down on levels and whatnot. As Faker making his way up to top lane right now, he's just going to try to shove in the wave. He's going to be met by BDD, who's just going to throw out some Zilean bombs. And the Ornn items are going to start coming in soon. And this is going to be the scary part of the game. Zilean does benefit from the fact that he's going for the glacial items, so typically they are more affordable. It makes very good use out of the recipe components that build into them as well. But the way that it's looking is T1 could just very well win this next Mountain Drake, and then Gen.G have one last dance, which is going to be at the Mountain Soul. But if Gen.G can win this fight and get the Mountain Drake, I think it really closes off a lot of chances that T1 would have to win, because that would delay them so much.
Real question is if they can actually put up a fight at this Mountain Drake. I mean, Faker has hit over 200 CS already. The guy is almost 2,000 gold ahead of anyone else on the Rift. He has Trinity Force finish and Manamir. No Muramana just yet, but this Corki is already massive. And that is just something you're going to have to factor into your calculations if you're Gen.G. They'd love a hard engage onto him, but he's going to have... I don't think he's got the package, but he's going to be extremely mobile. He has Flash and Valkyrie and the Karma. Can you lock down this pick is really the question.
Well, this is going to be the close fight, where T1's advantage is not super sizable, because Gen.G, they have very durable, tanky, beefy bros, backed up by the Ezreal and the Zilean. You can see Canna looking for some sort of a flank in the backside as, Teddy's going to recall, get a second lethality item, and I don't know what.
Surely, okay, can he get the smite down? No, it's going to go the way of Clid, as now Ragnarok on the way out of the fight here is Cuzz. The smite does not land. That is going to be key for Gen.G sticking alive here in this game.
And that's really big for them, because Ornn gets such insane value off of just that one Mountain Drake, and Ezreal going for the Iceborne Gauntlet. This is potentially 4 Mountain Drakes that could be stacked up by Gen.G. So
Clid! Oh no, that is not the mistake you want to make. Although it is just going to get the Zilean ultimate out for now. He does sustain a ton of damage on the backside. Doesn't end up being too critical at the end of the day, but still able to take down the Zilean ultimate for now. But very key for Gen.G that actually they are able to take down Shirley and not allow her to get her charge down.
Yeah. And now the game is much more evened out, as we're probably just gonna have a lull state here. We don't freeze in the LCK. It's not a not a thing that we do here. As Cuzz, he used to have a 2-level lead over Clid, but obviously with some aid from Zilean, Clid has managed to catch up a bit. It's a 3,000 gold lead right now for T1. The Infernal Dragon in isolation will still be more valuable than the Mountain. But the fact that Gen.G are threatening to now pick more and more up, and they denied the very much needed
okay. Teddy under turret, basically getting out-traded here by Ruler. And you can see the Ruler full health. He's not having any of it. He's really able to shut down the 1v1 there, essentially, and take control of this mid lane. It does feel like the tides are turning ever so slightly in favor of Gen.G as they have a nice little push going on here with the Glacial Augment Zilean to help zone away some of the members of T1.
For Gen.G, they are getting some ground for themselves. Still a 3,000 gold lead, but Rascal does have both of his ornaments now upgraded as he has hit level 13. So it's going to probably be the Frozen Fist upgraded for Ezreal, unless he can hold off for a while. He'll probably end up purchasing the Blade of the Ruin King, and you could just get Might of the Ruin King there. That would be fine. As Cuzz trying to skirt around the vision that the Scuttle Crab has granted, but bot tier 1 turret is looking like it's poised to fall, as Bertha going to be picked up here by Faker.
Yeah, why not just add to his fat stacks that he's got already? He's looking at a third item. At this point, already has picked up the Zeal. So looking to add a little bit of crit into the builds, as is the case normally with the Corki. And you were right about that lull state. It doesn't really look like either team wants to make a big play just yet. So we're going to be sitting back waiting for the Mountain Drake that's going to spawn in about 2 minutes.
And the thing about this, okay, so a very late Rod of Ages picked up by the Zilean. So that is going to take some time to stack up. However, even at the next Mountain Dragon fight in a minute and a half, the beefy bros on the side of Gen.G, I mean, the Zilean even has HP. So it's not super easy for T1, and you're going to just see more and more the problems that the Olaf has. So even though he got really far ahead early game, even though he had a really good start, he was up 2 levels, he's decaying very rapidly right now. There is a lot of friction that is slowing this champion down here in this game. And things are just going to become more problematic. And it's going to be all about the Corki and the Varus, because even the Sylas, how does he realistically engage? All that he is Gen.G have Ornn, and then T1 have Ornn at home.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on.
That is actually what it is. I mean, he is a Call the Forts God bot, and nothing really else. And we'll just have to hope that his Call the Forts guards are better, I suppose, at this point in time. Not much really else we can expect from Canna, especially the way the series has been going for this player. Mountain Drake spawning 30 seconds. Ooh, not sure how that didn't hit him, as he's got 200 armor.
It's pretty good. It's all right.
How is that even possible? What?
Well, 200 armor on Ezreal, so they're electing to upgrade that. There's not another item to be ornamented.
Now, Ruler did take an immense amount of poke damage. You were talking about the beefy boys, yes. Obviously, lots of them on the side of Gen.G, but Faker has been poking him down. He's just going to be able to package away from that one. Gets engaged on in the backline, and Teddy is in a really rough spot, but the Sylas is going mad in the backline. Do they have the damage? As yes, Teddy is going to die, but Faker stays alive, and Canna and Cuzz, the unexpected duo, get into the backline and assassinated just like that. And now they're looking at the Baron here for T1.
They're looking at the Baron, and because of the champions that Gen.G have, Ornn and Galio, they can't just go do the mountain, unfortunately. Yeah. So this is going to be a Baron into a mountain capture by T1. And
well,
man.
They're going to try to engage here. Not sure what they can do. Faker, Valkyrie's over the wall. And who's stuck in here with who as Rascal and Life have to get out of here. Desperate to do the damage, but even a TP coming in as Ezreal TPs into the back line, but he's going to go down extremely low. Kingslayer to death. Down will go Ruler, and more kills added to the side of T1.
And now Faker going to TP bottom. Yes, there's the channel. As we go into the replay, watch BDD, because I don't know what he was looking at here. He gets hit by the Ornn ultimate, and they just gunned for him. Like, all they could see was red. And Ruler brought down immediately too, so Gen.G, their integral core pieces to the team composition, fell immediately in the team fight. The two champs that they need to protect at all costs wasn't able to be protected. So Baron goes down, and then T1, they say to call an ambulance, but not for them.
Effort flashes it, still dies, but he is a hero. Canna, though, the unexpected return of the king, perhaps, up there in the top side. As, yes, BDD has flash available and ultimate available when he gets ulted there by Canna. But still, Canna able to turn that fight around and make it big, because as you mentioned, once you take out Zilean, Ruler is a sitting duck as he's desperately trying to get into the fight. Just way too ham. We're Clid in Life and not really able to get as much value out of their engage. And now with the Baron and another Mountain Drake, T1 look to push and take some more objectives.
Yeah, and they've extended their gold lead to 7,000 right now, as this is really hard to juggle. And again, BDD has a quest item. The quest item's not even halfway complete. Rod of Ages is only at 4 stacks right now. Things are looking really rough as more and more turrets begin to fall. That Mountain Drake was picked up as well, and Varus is a pretty good champion.
Yeah, it's Varus and Corki together. The two bros, they high five once again to clap some of the enemy team with their poke damage, and it's pretty intense what they're able to do together, even with the beefy boys in the front. Nice little stun there onto the Olaf, a bit awkward for him. He's gonna have the Ragnarok available, and the Fall of Force God interrupted by the call of the Sylas God. And no kills will come down here. Cuzz will be just fine.
And now T1 is just going to take a brief reset. They have an 8,500 gold lead almost. Can't believe you did that.
Why?
Can't believe you know, I mean, that wolf just wanted to be left alone. And he said, "You're coming with me."
He has 324 CS in 28 minutes. He took it away. He's really great at it. And
yeah.
That's one way you can get really far ahead on CS as well. Just take every single thing on the map, including the enemy's CS.
And you look at all of the items. Lord Dominic's for guard actually coming out here this time as the Varus to give him a little bit more of pen against all the beefy boys on the side of Gen.G. And it's really problematic. Gen.G, they need to stabilize, but it's going to be so hard because in 2.5 minutes, the Mountain Soul fight, T1 are just, they're going to slap them with their wallets. It's going to be a really, really difficult fight for Gen.G to win. And it's not even like Gen.G can utilize a phalanx or anything, because the low ground's going to grant T1 the ability to concave very well with the Corki, Karma, and Varus. And even if Gen.G do funnel up, the Sylas will get a lot of value.
All right, well, what is the play here? As already, effort is going to be targeted down. They're trying to take out the Karma, but in with the package goes Baker, and Canna and Clid, or rather Cuzz, able to zone them out here really nicely. Rascal not quite able to land it, and the front line is just going to be decimated as eventually this entire team, a little bit of a mistiming there on the arrow, but it just doesn't matter. And Teddy is frontlining now. VDD and Clid going home with their tails between their legs. Nothing they can do to stop this, as they're going to try to come back now with full health and clear the wave. That is
the minions!
The main objective, but the minions are going to split. And now with the TP, they should have enough time to poke down the turrets and try to take the game. Clid, he knows stopwatch is a great item, but it's not good enough to keep him alive. And T1, they're going to look for the win right now. As down will go the Zilean. He's got a TA, he's just fine. And there you go. GG, the Nexus goes down. Canna saying I can be Zilean too. And T1 will just continue their dominance in this final.
And